right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Hara One by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, the children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. I'm trying to make this a quick one. I was watching this interview um, from this guy here. It says Professor John Mearsheimer. He probably Teemanite. All right. So I want to play a couple words from his this video. Hopefully I don't get no copyright strike. You know, I'm hopefully this is under fair use, fair use. All right. Um, dealing with a news document, and this is just for educational purposes only. All right. So let's get to it. I'm gonna play this video. We're gonna go from there. The title of this one is "When Thou Hast Ceased to Spoil." All right. Matter of fact, let me edit the title because it's a little off right now. When thou hast when thou hast ceased to spoil. All right. I had to fix the title. But yeah, so it's 5:52 a.m. Uh August 5th, 2026 AD. Let's lock in. All right, and see where the spirit take us.
I think there's no question about that. The problem that President Trump faces is that the United
In fact, let me do this. Let me do this.
States has
Uh, There you go. Let's speed up just one.
lost this war. And if we go back to the memorandum of understanding that
It said the U.S. has lost has lost this war. They lost. They're just not saying it, but they lost the war, man. All right, the war against Iran, um, which is really a proxy against China and Russia, trying to make a hard hit at China's growth. But yeah, they lost the war. The proof is this MOU right here. It says the MOU, which is Memorandum of Understanding, all right, which is basically a stall of trying to buy some time, man. Basically giving all rights over to Iran to run the Strait of Hormuz and everything around it. But as he's speaking, he's saying what? You hear Trump saying, they're gonna annihilate the whole country. They're gonna wipe everybody out. They're gonna do a decapitation strike. They're gonna do this. They're gonna shut it down in 2 weeks. All these different boasting and boasting. But the Lord said, no, it's gonna come a point where that boasting is just gonna be words. There's not gonna be anything um, backing it. All right? Because why? Because they have a cutoff point. Just like the Lord said, He set up the ocean so it can only go so far up the beach or on the sand, and the sand can only go so far into the water. The trees, the forest can only go so far to the on the land. So the Lord set boundaries for everything, just like He set a firmament around the earth, just like He set a timeline for each of our lives. The Lord set times for rulerships and ages to rule and for ages to fall. All right. So the Lord said they shall build, but He shall throw down. But their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. But how did they get all this rulership on the earth? Esau. How did they get all this dominance? How did America get all this prominence and hegemony in the earth? All right. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let me get that real quick. One second. Hopefully, it don't take me too long to find this one. Let's go to Apocrypha. No, I can't find it. I gotta find this one real quick. One second. Uh, yep, Sirach 10 and 8. There you go. Let me go there real quick. Sirach 10 and 8. I try to pull it up on my phone so I don't lose my sound on StreamYard. All right. Sirach 10 and 8. It says, so how have they kept their hegemony in the earth on this earth, sitting as a queen or a king, ruling over the nations. This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings. All right, unrighteous dealings. So this whole system that's set up, this military infrastructure of dominance, the Roman Empire, the EU, NATO, the US, it's all unrighteous. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, see, injuries, which goes into hurting, destruction, war, spoiling other nations, and riches gotten by deceit, see, robbery, swindling. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right. So when we hear about, let me go here real quick if I can. Uh, the U.S. gaining its prominence and dominance in the earth is because of bloodshed. Woe unto him that buildeth a town with bloodshed through slavery, through robbing other nations, wars on the earth. All right. This is Revelation 17 and 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest. Let me go back to this over here. There you go. So like the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth. See, the U.S. is the whore because it's financed by those European bankers and controlled, and is in bed with every nation, all its lovers through business. Where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues ruling over nations. The scripture saying Habakkuk 2, they heap unto themselves all nations, and they cannot be satisfied, trying to dominate the whole earth. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, all right, the EU, these shall hate the whore. All right, so ultimately, they're not going to have any backing from their constituents over in Europe, and shall make her desolate and naked. So they're going to have a part. They're going to play a part in this place being desolated, all right, and being stripped of all its glory and wealth that it gained from um, increasing debt, the dollar, starting wars with these nations, taking their resources, their oil, all right, and shall eat her flesh. See, that's to take her strength away and burn her with fire. So, and ultimately, they're gonna have a part in um, the missiles hitting this place. All right, those elites. For Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will to prop this place up. What was his will? Right here. Let's go up here real quick. Um, Revelation 17 and 4. The woman, the U.S., was arrayed. See, what's arrayed? Meaning dressed up, given this stuff. This stuff was given to it. They propped the U.S. up by giving it the dollar, giving it hegemony in the earth, while they play the bankers in the background, controlling through money, control of the money. That's what the Rothschilds wanted. So to clothe one, to cast about, to clothe it, to throw around, to surround a city with a bank of garments, to put a thing on one, you know? So the woman was clothed, given all these resources. All right. The woman was arrayed in purple, meaning it represent royalty, and scarlet color, representing Edom, backed by Esau, built by Esau, and decked with gold, so given gold and precious stones and pearls, all kind of resources and imports, exports, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That was it. Um, and upon her forehead was written mystery. So it's a mystery that this is Babylon, that John the Revelator saw in a vision from the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, around 75 or 95 AD, all right, when the Domitian put him on the Isle of Patmos. Uh, it says, what? Babylon the Great. And what have they been saying? Make America great again. So they want full dominance, total dominance, like they had with the dollar, like they had with World War II. Uh, what's that called? 9/11. You know, terrorizing nations like they did in Vietnam, even though they didn't win. The mother of harlots and so a mother of harlots meaning what? It produces nothing but idolatry from this place. Self worship, entertainers and all this different stuff, man. Witchcraft. The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So pushing out all a lot of these abominations in the earth that's happening today really stem from this place and its rulers over in Europe. All right. So what did the Lord put in their hearts to do? To give, here you go, verse 17. For Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree. So all the nations came, those European nations came together and agreed and give their kingdom unto the beast. So they really the ones ruling, but they gave partial temporary rulership unto the US and NATO until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So now we at the time where they're about to be cut off, and they but the Lord is starting with the power. Just like the electric company come and cut your shit off, yeah, they cut the power off. Just like a siege, when they do a siege of a town, what the first thing they do? They cut the power off, strip you of your power and resources. That's what the Lord is doing to this place. All right, and what they agreed to give their power into the beast, the U.S. and NATO, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. The woman which thou sawest is that great city, great in wickedness, great in resources and power and might, so much that John the Revelator wondered at it, like, wow. And the angel had to check him, like, what the hell are you wondering at? Just like any other flower, it blossoms, then it's going to decay. Just like any bay tree that seems to be permanent and spread its roots far and wide, but then the Lord has it destroyed. So the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth, meaning reigning over the earth as a king. All right. So that rulership, that reigning, that hegemony is coming to an end, and that's what we're witnessing. So let's listen to him a little bit. All right. Right, because of unrighteous dealings, they got the kingdom, and they got this dominance in the world. All right. So let's play it a little bit more.
Was signed on June 17th. This was the memorandum that looked like it was going to end the war. It was basically a surrender document. The United States gave in to Iran on every point. In other words, Iran won on every point. And the reason is that the United States did not have a military strategy to defeat Iran.
There you go. All right. So they gave in on every point with Iran because Iran has the U.S. in a chokehold. You know that headlock until you say uncle. They said, let's get that real quick. Imagine you wrestling with somebody. Imagine you wrestling with somebody and you beating their ass, and then every time you show up, you whooping their ass, and then one day that motherfucker turn into Leroy, and you like, who is the master? He like, I am. All right. Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords, man. So they Iran is not backing down. They're taking a stance of war and willing to fight to the death. All right. And fighting against somebody like that, that's an all-out bloody war. They're gonna fight tooth and nail to win. So beat your plowshares into swords. So prepare for war, not growth, but in agriculture, but war. I mean, there's no time of peace. This is a time of war. Your pruning hooks into spears, missiles. Let the weak say, I am strong. So you wrestling somebody and they say, I'm strong. You know, like Hulk Hogan used to do. You getting beat down, you put that hand up, or shaking it. You already know you up. That's what Iran doing. Let the weak say, I am strong. They saying they strong as hell. And they won't be put down. All right. So they putting up their defenses and it's been proven their strength now. If those attacks never happened on Iran, we would have never known how strong they really are. But now we see, and the other nations see it. All right. So yeah, that MOU was basically an admittance. We got to understand that you lost this agreement, this battle. So even though Iran has this contract, the MOU in place, the U.S. is still bombing them and attacking them when they got all rights to the Strait of Hormuz, to control it, to tax it, to put a price on it, to direct traffic over there as far as the eye can see. That's what it says in this memorandum of understanding, which is basically um, non-binding document. So this is all a setup. Look, non-binding. Why? Because of this right here. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. The contracts and memorandums and peace talks. But war was in his heart, meaning he's trying to find a way to get you, trip you up, to stall. You know, he said to make a deal, buying time with that deal while the soldiers bring the destruction, that you may fall by his strong ones. All right. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. They had all out war with Iran, but they acting like they want peace because they're losing. All right. So the Lord said when they have ceased to spoil, that's when they're gonna be spoiled. This is all the Most High's will, and we're watching it. Again, this is a lamb back from I watched Apostle Tahar's Elder Apostle Tahar, they're live. this from this weekend, and he kind of touched on this topic with the when they shall cease to spoil. When I heard this, it took my mind to those scriptures. All right, so let's listen some more. So that memorandum of understanding was an admittance of defeat from a prideful nation, the U.S.
Now, what's happened since June 17th is that the United States
Let me make sure I got sound. All
tried to open a separate channel in the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz that the Iranians refused to accept. So we've now got back to a situation where the two sides are attacking each other with these tit for tat military strikes.
right, because they at war, and that's what I said before. It's a tit for tat war. That's what Iran's doing. They're countering. All right, they're not the aggressor. They're counterattacking. All right, it's a tit for tat, meaning you you hit our economy, they're gonna hit your economy. You hit their oil, they're gonna hit your oil over there with those Gulf states that are backed by the U.S. You hit their bridges, they're gonna destroy their allies over there, the U.S. allies over there, or shut down the Strait of Hormuz. All right, going for the jugular. So let's keep going.
But the problem is the United States can't win this battle, just like it couldn't win the battle before June 17th.
Mm.
And that's why we had to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. Nothing has changed. The United States does not have a magic formula for defeating Iran.
Woo, yo, they don't have no pixie dust, no magic formula. Hold up, let me get the. All right, so there's no formula they can find. Imagine that you boxing somebody, it meaning basically they don't have no strategy that they can come up with to defeat them. That's the Most High doing that, fortifying these Eastern nations. Isaiah 47 and 12. All right, I'm gonna start from here. Damn, there we go. Sheesh. I'm gonna start from 7, man. This is crazy. Let's go to Isaiah 47 and 7. All right. I might pull it up where y'all can see it too. Why not? Isaiah 47 and 7. Oh shit. Isaiah 47 and 7. Here we go. It says, "And thou hast said, I shall be a lady forever." Come on, man. Not only Esau saying that their houses shall continue forever, but this place specifically, especially with their current rulership, leadership, is saying that they shall be a lady forever, ruling over the nations forever, always having backing from its partners. You know, always having that dollar, that hegemony, and that dominance, military, putting that fear on the nations. You know, when they brought down those atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that put fear. The whole world wondered after this place. So they say it should be a lady forever. That's their plan. You know, my whole plan is to rule forever. But the other nation saying no, nah, and the Most High disagrees with that. He said, "Thou shalt cease to spoil." Because how did you get that rulership to be a royal, like a queen in this world? He says, "What? I should be a lady forever," and they only got it through covetousness and ill-gotten gain, robbery, war. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. See, what the Lord said was going to happen to a place that rises up in wickedness and pride and thinks it's going to rule forever, right? and rules through wickedness and bloodshed. He said, "You don't remember what I said I'm gonna do to that type of place? You don't remember what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah or Egypt? Therefore, or Nineveh or Syria, I mean, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, all right, given to pleasures, um, enlarging their desires as hell, you know, riches that dwelleth carelessly. Damn, carelessly, man. When you starting wars, man, and just going up to people, scripture say that. Let me get that. Let's go there. This is Psalms 10 and 5. His ways are always grievous, man. So anywhere Trump and his allies and the U.S. and whoever they put in rulership, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. They don't know the ways of the Lord. They don't know righteousness, and they don't believe in his plans. He said, Thou hast not remembered the latter end of it. So the Lord's judgments are far above out of their sight. They don't see it. They don't remember what the Lord will do. As for all his enemies on this earth, right? Damn, not only on this earth, but his enemies are even in heaven. Esau got enemies not only on the earth, but in heaven as well. Sheesh. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them, man. He's like, pish posh, Lavelle. Nothing's gonna happen. So what? Isaiah 47 and 8. That dwelleth carelessly. See, they dwelling carelessly, man. Poking at these other nations, knowing you ain't got no defense. Like just like a Karen or a Ken, as they say. Knowing they can't fight, messing with people. Knowing you can't last this war. Knowing you don't have enough missiles to last against Iran, a long-term war. The U.S. wasn't made for that. It was made to shock and awe, to get in and get out, scare the shit out of a nation, have them give up everything. You know, it wasn't made to fight this conventional type of this modernized war and a long-term war. That's why he keeps saying it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick. But um, Iran has wrestled with them so much that they had to pull their air defenses out of there. That's why they went to the Navy now. They on the water fighting, no longer in the air, because they was running out of fucking ammunition, running out of pilots and shit, running out of planes. Says what? So they dwelling carelessly, man, with weak defenses compared to these other nations. That sayest in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. See, rule as a queen forever. Nobody can sit next to you. So what that mean? You're gonna put everybody down. China try to stand up, you pull the rug from under their feet. Iran stand up, you or start to puff up, you deflate them and shit. Iran say, Russia say they the bear, you try to put them in a cage, hit it with a tranquilizer, put them back to sleep. So he's saying, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, meaning they're always gonna have their um what you call that backing. I'll say, you know, a gang ain't tough when they by themselves, individuals. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children, meaning they're always gonna have their allies. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. All right, so that goes with Revelation 17. The loss of children, right? So the allies gonna flee from them. Revelation 18. They're gonna be watching them far off, like, oh shit, it finally happened. Is it gonna happen to us too? Widowhood, meaning what? They're gonna find out that their help is actually their enemy. Satan gonna be divided against Satan. They're gonna look for help, and nobody gonna. It says what? Thou also shall seek help because of the enemy, and they're not gonna find any help. They shall come up upon thee. They shall come upon thee. Right, right. Widowhood and the loss of children in their perfection. So it's all being built up to this final moment. The Lord is building it up. For the multitude of thy sorceries, right, and for their great abundance of thine enchantments. Right. That's why he said there's no magic you can find. They ain't got no magic they can find to use to stop Iran. No strategy you can come up with. For thou hast trusted. Damn. The Lord said, I shall find out all your ways. Meaning, then that you're going to have stopped you there, stopped you there, stopped you there. But before the Lord will let it flow, he'll let Esau swing his sword and butcher the whole earth. But now the Lord is stopping them in certain areas on this earth. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. See, they trusted in all their wicked strategies. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Well, the Most High sees them. You know, nobody knows our plan. We move in secret. We got them. Shock and awe. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it have perverted thee, man. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me, right? Because it says, thy wisdom and knowledge, basically from war and oppression, um, it perverted this place, meaning what caused them to become prideful, all right? Uh, and lifted up, okay? So there's no magic. Magic ain't working no more. Strategies.
So President Trump can escalate all he wants, but it's not going to do any good because the Iranians will match the United States at every point,
Yep.
and we don't gain an advantage.
There you go. See, let the weak say they're strong. They're matching them at every point. Tit for tat. And the U.S. is not gaining any advantage. They're actually losing. Look at the gas pumps when you go outside.
And they can do it far more cost effectively. Would you agree that?
Absolutely. You want to remember that one of the principal reasons that we ended the air war on April 8th, it's important to understand that the war started on February 28th. On April 8th, we ended the air war and we moved to a naval blockade. This is a long time before the Memorandum of Understanding is signed. The reason that we ended the air war is that we were running out of munitions. The United States does not have an endless supply of munitions or weapons that it can use to conduct a large-scale air offensive. So we're in a position today where we have to be very careful that we don't use up almost all of the remaining weapons that we have. So you're absolutely right that Iran using these ballistic missiles and drones that they have is at a great advantage against the United States, which has all of this expensive weaponry, but only limited numbers of the weapons.
Damn. Imagine that. You know, you got a limited number of weapons, but they cost, so much, for F-35 or certain missiles. And to ship all of that stuff over there and to pay the pilots and all. It's a lot. It's costly. But Iran is using drones and missiles that cost $10,000 allegedly. And that's nothing to a billionaire nation. $10,000 little, is nothing to them. All right. So it's costly for the U.S. Here you go. And he says nothing they can do. This is Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest. All right, basically robbing these nations. That spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. That's why they call it the virgin daughter of Babylon. This place is untouched so far. Even that September 11th was allegedly, you know, inside job. All right. Woe to thee that spoilest. You know, um, being busybodies in the earth. You should send the far off the northern army, meaning always in somebody else's business. But he said, "What woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil." All right. So now we're at the point where we're seeing their power being cut off, like Chuchala. All right, their power, they're being stripped of their damn power. When thou shalt cease to spoil, to rob the earth, now the nation's starting to say, "Hey, all right, that's enough, man. Uh, let's get that." While we, how long shall they increase in that which is not his? All right, that's what the nations are saying. How long are we gonna help them prop up and rob us? How you gonna help? How you gonna help the robber rob yourself? And that's what they're doing. They're financing China, Iran, all of them were helping to finance by dealing with the OPEC deal, oil. Um, the dollar being backed by oil. China pegging, and decreasing their currency to the dollar, buying and trading in the U.S. currency, et cetera, having reserves. So they're like, how long are we gonna continue to let this shit happen, man? While they robbing us? When thou shalt cease to spoil, see, we at that point. Thou shalt be spoiled. We're gonna see the tables turn real soon. That's why they keep saying, "Oh man, get ready for the economy collapse." That's when thou shalt be spoiled is happening. You know, attacks on the home um on the soil here, and when thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. All right. So not saying, yeah, I'm gonna stop being mean. No, meaning, let's go here real quick. This is what it means right here. Go to Habakkuk 2. Go to Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him." See, it said, "Perverted thy judgment." So they lifted up in pride, thinking they're gonna rule the earth forever. I'm gonna go over here to Iran. Look what we just did in Gaza. You know what I mean? So we already know what we're doing in Yemen. Iran, you next. See, the Lord boosted pride cometh before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So the Lord built that haughty spirit up, just like He built up the mind of Pharaoh before He brought Pharaoh down and showed His power on Pharaoh, that He can control Pharaoh, control the president, have him in pride, so the Lord can bring him low and destroy him. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. All right, he lifted up because they've taken from so many nations and got away with it. But now that's coming to an end. But the just shall live by his faith. See, we live in our pride in Yahweh Shem Shai is through faith. Theirs is through Esau's blessing the sword. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine. See, because to transgress means to like continued sin or continued iniquity, continuously. All right, by wine through their business, their democracy, their wars. He is a proud man. See, they got that pride. Their heart has been lifted up. Neither keepeth at home, not taking care of the issues that in the country, in this country, they going over there trying to take. Hey, Iran, we're gonna bring democracy to you. Saudi Arabia, wait, hold up. Saudi Arabia already got democracy. Oh, Iraq. Well, look at the. So you want to look it up for yourself and look at what type of freedom they have over there. And what's that? Kuwait, Iraq. They said slavery is running rampant over there. Right after the U.S. stepped over there. Neither keepeth at home who enlargeth his desire as hell. So anywhere they put their desires, like they say Greenland, oh yeah, it's gonna be hell over there. All right. So anywhere they say you next, and is as death. What is death? Death is what? Death can't be satisfied, just like the grave. It consumes us all, unless the Lord uh, gives us eternal life, of course, until the end. You know, in the end, the Lord's gonna defeat death, but death cannot be satisfied, just like the grave. And that's how Esau is. They just like they just like death. The grave cannot be satisfied. A weapon of mass destruction. A bottom feeder that can't be satisfied, like a pig is feeding off the earth, and devouring everything in the damn sight like a goat, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? Let me get some. Let me get this real quick. Um, right. Let's go to I'm gonna go to Psalms 37 and 32 real quick. Hopefully I forget where I was at. Psalm 37, 32. Where is it at? No, that's not what I want. There you go. Ooh, here we go. That's not what I want, but it's still some fire though. This is let's go there. I'll bring y'all over. Psalms 37 and 32. The wicked watcheth the righteous. So they really watching Jacob. There's really a battle against Jacob. Esau just on Esau just doing side quests right now. He doing side quests like a mother. But their real target has still been Jacob. But they just on their side missions. All right. The wicked watchers the righteous. As they on their side missions, side quests, they watching us. And seeketh to slay him. See, they really want to get rid of our people. Yahweh will not leave him in his hand. So the Lord not gonna leave us in their hand. All right. Nor condemn him when he is judged. Talking about two, 1/3 of our people. All right, the elect. Wait on Yahweh and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. So the Lord's gonna give it to us. He's gonna give us the world. We ain't got. he, he gonna tell us to take it. He gonna give it to us. You know, give us rulership. But Esau is like, I'm gonna get it myself. I'm gonna cut down everything in my way until I get it. Self-willed, man. Thus was the course of Satan or the serpent in the garden, telling us to trust man and not God. Well, we're gonna see the results of it. Well, they'll see it. When the wicked are cut off, whoa, wait on the Lord Yahweh, keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, what do you mean by cutting them off? What do you mean by cutting them off? Cut off your damn TV and cut your lights out. Meaning what? Cut off your power. And we're seeing that their power is being cut off in the world. Their rulership is being cut off. Their existence, someday, according to the Lord's will, he's gonna cut them off. He said, "What? When the wicked are being cut off, thou shalt see it," and we're seeing it. I'm playing the video right now to where he's saying they're being cut off. Their power is being stripped, weakened, pointless. I have seen the wicked in great power. So we've seen it. We've seen them in great power. Just like John the Revelator saw it in a vision, we're seeing it in live and in color, in living color. We've seen the wicked in great power, right? Great Babylon. And and spreading himself like a green bay tree, right? Spreading his roots and those big branches and leaves out, making room for himself, like a tree that's think it's gonna be there forever. Permanence. But it's really what? Let's get that real quick. Damn, I open up another. Damn. All right. How about that? Let me get that real quick. This is Job 20 and 5. Nope, 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since the beginning, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short? All right, so they're triumphing. Their rulership is short. All right, 1,000 years is as a day to the Lord. So their rulership is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, they can give rulership till they get all the way to space like they're doing. And his head reach unto the clouds in pride, right? Yet his yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where the hell is he? Rome, that's Revelation 18. Alas, alas. Psalm 37 and 35. I have seen the wicked in great power. We seeing them devils ruling right now. Great power. Hidden power that we can't even see. And spreading himself like a green bay tree. Say he want to rule in the sides of the north. And then once this place was established, the U.S., it spread itself not only um, here, but it spread itself around the world. Neither keepeth at home. All right. It said none else beside me. That's this right here. Like a green bay tree. But check this out. Yet he passed away. And lo, he was not. That's why he said um, Lazarus and the rich man. The rich man died. Yet he shall pass away. And lo, he was not. Yet, yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. All right. It says, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. Damn, not only this place, but all the heathen. And 2/3 of our people in this place. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. All right. So I'm gonna get back to the video, but let's go back over here real quick. Habakkuk 2 and 5. So he what and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. See, they can't be satisfied. All right. Uh, that's what I want. Is it this one? No. Yeah, I'm gonna just read this real quick. This is not what I want though. It says here, Psalms 37 and 17, for the arms of the wicked shall be cut off. All right. So the arms of the wicked, their power in the earth, their rulership, their military, their economy, their religion, their deception, secrecy, all that's being cut off in the earth. For the arms of the wicked shall be cut off, so their strength. But Yahweh upholdeth the righteous. So the Lord has given us strength. All right. Hold up. What I want? Proverbs 2 and 22. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth. don't seeking whom they may devour. He said their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever. All right, et cetera, et cetera. Hold up. Oh yeah, I got a few more I want to get. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out. All right. So the transgressors shall be rooted out. So they're gonna be cut off their power. Trying to get this one scripture I had. I wanted. Here you go. Proverbs 27:20. Go there. Proverbs 27:20. Um, it says, "What hell and destruction are never full." That goes with Habakkuk chapter 2. It enlarges their desires as hell and cannot be satisfied. So hell and destruction are never full. And Revelation chapter 6, it tells you Esau is that damn death and hell follows. You know? So hell and destruction are never full, just like I was saying earlier. So the grave is never full. So the eyes of man are never satisfied, just like Trump. All right. They already had world dominance. They could have shared with the rest of the world. Instead, um, they want to keep that dominance, that dollar dominance. Why? Because it's all fake. It's operating under de facto. It can't stand next to a real currency like gold and silver with the dollar. You know, they can't have nobody. That's how Esau is, man. That's why they didn't want us in the room during segregation because they knew if we stood next to them, you'll see all our talents and that we're better than them. Same thing with China and these other nations. They don't want nobody standing next to them because they're gonna realize how, you know, all the insecurities, how frail they really are. Proverbs 27:20, hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. So the Lord going to cut them off from their satisfaction. All right. I got so many scriptures I want to get. I'm going to play this video.
On a slightly macro perspective, does this also signal the end of the American hegemony across the world? Is now America as a global power, is it a thing of a past? Global military power?
Let me make 2 points. First of all, America's position as the most powerful state in the world by far ended in about 2017 when the world went from unipolar to multipolar.
There you go. That's right. I got to stop it there, man. When the world went from unipolar to multipolar, they was all dealing with the U.S. And now they started dealing with each other. China, Russia, Iran. And 2016 is when Ezekiel 38 really started kicking off, the first verse. He said, "I'll turn and put hooks into thy jaws and turn thee back," meaning bringing Russia back to that Soviet Union mind state. They wanted to annex, meaning take all those Eurasian or Russian countries back to Russia, to motherland Russia, Ukraine, Crimea, you know? So that happened in 2016 with the Brexit. All right, 2017 was the beginning of their downfall. Let's go to Isaiah 47 real quick. I'm gonna just read this one and continue playing the video. Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down," meaning get the hell down. You trying to go up, make this place great again, but the Lord said, "Nah, no, no, no. He got other plans. Come down and sit in the dust, you know." So sit in the dust and obscurity, meaning powerless, confusion, weakness. ceasing to spoil. No more throne, no more rulership in the earth. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, meaning what? Pure, untouched. That's what a virgin is. All right. As is the mother, so is the daughter. So this place is just like ancient, wicked Babylon, idolatrous, business, oppressive, wicked, prideful. O virgin daughter of Babylon, meaning this place, he said, when thou hast spoiled, cease to spoil, you was basically spoiling other nations that didn't spoil you, untouched. So it says, what? Sit on the ground. There is no throne. No more rulership in this world. If you're on the ground, you're basically under everybody. Oh, daughter of the Chaldees, from those European bankers. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And they're going to get attacked, untouched. This place going to get attacked now. They're about to get spoiled. He said, there is no throne, no more rulership in the world. Dominance. The hegemony is gone. But there you go. Let's go to Psalms. Do I want this? Um, yeah. Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. See, they want to rob, steal, and unalive people in other nations so they can pass all that inheritance down to their children and their bloodlines. It's crazy, man. To all generations, they call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perisheth. Crazy. All right. Um, what's that? He should. Let's go here. All right. Let's go. Psalm 17. I'm not gonna get all these precepts. I just want to get a couple real quick. Psalm 17:11. It says they have now compassed us in our steps, meaning they think they're gonna reach their plan, their new world order, one world order, satanic, digital. You have everything but own nothing, etc., etc. No privacy. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, meaning what? World dominance. That's in their plan. That's in Esau's plan. World dominance, taking over the whole earth. So they want hell on earth, and because the scriptures say they enlarge their desires as hell. So now this dude looking at the whole earth like, it's like, yo, hey, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey. See, they got greedy, and is and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. All right, they think it's young, 250 years old. You ain't young no more. You ain't got that. You ain't got. You, ain't got, you ever see an old person try to run and they fall? They get like halfway and them knees give out. Oh boy. And as it were, a young lion lurking in secret places. You ain't young no more. You get your ass whooped in secret places. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him. All right, so the Lord gonna rise up and disappoint him. Deep. Cast him down. Damn, they're gonna be cast down. He said till he be taken out of the way, taken off of that throne seat. There is no more throne. Sit on the ground. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Yahweh. See, the Lord used them. He said, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. All right. From men of the world, which have their portion in this life. Their portion is being cut off. Esau's portion, ruling with the sword, is coming to an end. They about to have that last hurrah. They coming down with great wrath because they know they only have but what? A short time. In whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. Right? They was able to find all kind of treasures all over the earth. But Most High got more treasures than that we're gonna have in the kingdom. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. That's what I said. So they want to pass all this shit down to their bloodlines, not to us. Y- We're doing this for America. Now you doing it for your damn family. Hunter Biden and all them. All right. So yeah, man, they losing that dominance, that hegemony in the earth. Hegemony just means rulership.
It's when China and Russia became great powers. So the days when the United States was the only great power in the world, this is the famous unipolar moment, ended in 2017. So we are now in a position, we meaning the United States, where we face two other great powers, and one of them, China, threatens to become as powerful as the United States.
Mm. He says, set themselves in array against Babylon round about. In the day of that trouble, they should be against thee round about. So the Lord is bringing them together like Voltron, all right? Bringing them together like harmony. Job 14, the Lord bringing these nations together like fat people thighs. Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined. So the Lord already determined and numbered your days in rulership. Not only our lives, individual lives, but this place as a country. All right, and Esau's rulership as well as a nation. Just like us, we've died as a nation, and the Lord's going to resurrect us up as a nation, and it's been numbered as well. So Esau's rulership, thriving on this earth, has been numbered, determined. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. So the Lord knows how long this place is going to keep going. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Power. The Lord showing true power right now. We're witnessing the confounding of the modern day Pharaoh president. Remember with Pharaoh, the Lord raised up Pharaoh so he could show his power in thee, and he hardened his heart, and everything the Pharaoh did was failing. I'm gonna do this, it failed. I'm gonna do this to you, Moses, oh, it failed. Everything Trump's saying, it fails at this point because the Lord not with him.
So independent of the Iran war, we have lost our position as the world's only great power. The second
Ooh.
point I would make to you is if the United States loses the war against Iran, it will have no effect on America's position in the global balance of power. When I was young, we lost the war in Vietnam. And it was a disastrous defeat for the United States, but it had no effect on the balance of power. And in fact, 14 years later, the Soviet Union collapsed and the United States became the unipolar.
Right, that was before. They have no effect on the balance of power, you know, but still, it's different nowadays. Now things are different.
So it's just important to understand that the United States is an incredibly powerful country. And the only threat to its power in the international system is not what happens in Iran, but it's China.
Mm.
But
Right, because really, it, the situation where they're going at Iran is really allegedly to go at China because most of China's um, oil and imports come through Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, or those straits over there. All right, so you cause disruption in those areas. It disrupts the was supposed to disrupt the economy of China, but it didn't. All right, so they don't want to see China growing, blowing up. Isaiah, well, they probably won't see that, but not in the way China would like. Isaiah 57 and 20. But the wicked are like the troubled sea. The wicked are like the troubled sea, man. Their soul is troubled. Their soul is troubled. Just like Scar from the Lion King. Motherfucker's troubled. Want to rule but can't. Got the rulership, still ain't happy. Still bloodthirsty. It said the wicked. I'm gonna go to it real quick so y'all can see. Psalm 57 real quick. The wicked are like the troubled sea. Right? Yes. Oh, Isaiah. I went to Psalms. Damn. Isaiah 57. Here you go. The wicked are like the troubled sea, man. What does the sea do? It crashes up on the shore all day. And you don't want to. You sit there on the edge of the sand. You think that damn water trying to get you. That water want to spread. It's crashing. It want to go up onto the land, take over the land. Right? That's what water wants to do. It spreads. But the wicked are like the troubled sea. It just never rests, never calm. Cut on TV every day. Trump turned the hell up. Bibby. It's like, damn, do y'all motherfuckers sleep? Y'all like damn vampires and shit. But the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest. See? They don't have no rest. Like a hungry lion seeking more and more blood. It can't rest. Whose waters cast up mire and dirt. All right? So everything they bring upon the earth and they enlarge their desires as hell. That's what this is. They bring nothing but mire and dirt. What's that? Destruction, wickedness. They bring nothing but that onto the earth when they and grievousness. All right, that's what waters do. They kick up dirt and mire, mud, all the nasty stuff from the ocean comes up onto the land. All right, so the wicked are just like that. They can't rest till some bullshit happens. All right, so that's why the Lord said, "What there is no peace, saith Yahweh to the wicked," because the Lord then put that peace in their heart. Okay, so the Lord said they can't have. That's not a gift given to Esau. So it's gonna lead them right to their destruction. Let me get that. Matter of fact, I just type it in. All right, so the Lord is gonna do it. Let me make sure I'm on point. There is no peace to the wicked, right? So Job 18 and 14, his confidence. See, that's what it is. Pride, confidence, lifted up. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, their whole house of Esau, especially out of this place, the U.S. This is a house of the thief, and it shall bring him to the king of terror. So the Lord is rooting out their confidence, meaning root it out. What it means to root something out? I mean, look for it? No, it means to snatch that motherfucker up out the ground, like you do some damn weeds when you don't want them to corrupt your flowers. All right, what you say, tears and shit. So the Lord is gonna, he said, what? He gonna root them up. Just like in Daniel 7, where it says, this one horn rooted up the other nations, Britain, Spain, and France. Well, the Lord is about to root their ass up now. Like that that green bay tree that was spreading its roots. Well, the Lord gonna root them up. All right. Um, right. So yeah, man, it was something on my spirit, man. I just want to bring this out real quick. I'm gonna try to go more into it later. Hey, Shalom, Mark Zaria, my brother. All of them teeth, no toothbrush. What? What, boy? What you say, boy? Matter of fact, since you went there, um, I'm gonna go ahead real quick. This is let's go to Psalms 58. This is Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. So they're estranged from the Lord as soon as they're born into this earth. They're separated from God. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? Because they taught lies from birth. All right. I'm going to 7. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Just like 2/3 of our people, they inject that poison into you, their lies. Just like DJT. He is a liar and the father of it. It's like poison of a serpent, that strike you, man, attack you. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear. Basically a ruler that won't listen, just like the Pharaoh. Like a deaf adder that just keep attacking you, keep injecting poison and won't stop. You stop, motherfucker can't hear. He ain't listening. Prideful, hard headed. That's Trump. And not only Trump, just Esau, I say. Which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. 2/3 of our people won't listen. Break their teeth, O Yahweh. So the Lord is breaking their might, their strength in the earth. Teeth represents might or power or their armies. They send afar off the northern armies. Nahum says they're going to get their asses handed to them over there in them bases. They shall fall into the mouth of the eater. So break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth, like the young lion, remember? Seeking whom it may devour. But the Lord said he's going to break their strength. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh. There you go, the young lion again. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. Power gonna be cut off, man. All right, so we in that time. I'm gonna cut this one short because I don't want to go too far over an hour. But yeah, hopefully this is edifying, man. And yeah, he said the power of this place is being cut off in the world, and the Lord is using Iran to show us that example. All right, so yeah, man, this was Professor John Mearsheimer. All right, political science. It's pretty deep, man. You should check this. I might try to put it in the description if I can remember. All right. And with that, I'm gonna say see you on the next one. But yes, the hegemony, the rulership. When thou has ceased to spoil, meaning their power is being cut off, and they can't just conquer and dominate nations like Iran as they want to. That's when the Lord said the table is about to turn, and they're gonna be spoiled, and we're gonna see it with our own eyes. Call Halayim Le'al Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. For that, I'm gonna say Shalom.